Today I have a very special video, one that I've been waiting to make for a very long time. I'm going to be building this Cannondale M700 frame. For some brief history, I got this bike complete from a neighbor for free. It was pretty beaten up and I really knew nothing about bikes at the time. And I'd also just finished the red hard rock project that I showed off in another video. I just finished that at the time. This was a couple years ago. At the time, I was just like, I don't want to build another mountain bike, you know what I mean? So I just kind of put it aside. And then eventually I hung it on the wall in my room as just like a piece of art because I figured there's no way I'm ever going to build this. And I'll explain why. The thing that kept me from doing a full build on this bike is the head tube. And if you look at it, it looks just like any other bike. It's a normal looking head tube, right? But it's not. It's actually quite a rare standard. You see, back in the 1990s, there was mainly two headset standards. There was a bunch, but the two main ones were 1 inch threaded and 1 1/8 threadless, right? Those are the big two. 1 1/8 threadless eventually kind of took over as the primary standard, and it's still the standard to this day. But Cannondale, Gary Fisher, and several other brands decided to throw a wrench in the works and use an oversized 1 1/4 head tube standard. The problem with that is that the original stem that came on the Cannondale was way too long. It was like 110 millimeters or something like that, something crazy. And so I tried looking around on eBay and other websites for a shorter stem that would fit my headset. But since the standard basically died in the 1990s, all the other options on the market are all still pretty long. So I had to jump through a bunch of hoops. I sourced a replacement fork and an entire threadless system. So this is 1 1/4 threadless now, and it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot of money, but in the end, I think it's going to be a pretty cool build. The tires I'm using are these Continental Double Fighters, and they're wrapped around these very heavy Trek Matrix wheels. So I'm using a 9-speed 11 to 40T cassette for this build. In this video, you might see me lifting up the bike relatively effortlessly, and that's thanks to Cannondale's 3.0 series frame design, which basically meant that the frame only weighed 3 pounds, which was incredibly light for its day. So the bars I'm using are these Ritchie Coyote bars. I picked them mainly because I just wanted something different from the basic flat bars on all my other bikes, but realistically, I might swap these out for something with a little more back sweep in the future. Shimano T4000 brake levers. These are pretty basic Shimano V-brakes that I bought used. quite satisfying getting a nice new set of V-brakes hooked up. Fuck! That's not satisfying at all. Oh god, this is a disaster. Okay. Ah, yeah. This one comes with crank bolts? I've never seen that. So in this clip I got impatient and I installed like a regular 32 tooth chainring from a 3x. This is before I got the narrow wide that I ordered, but that will be corrected later in the video. Okay, so the derailleur I'm using doesn't actually fit the cassette. The derailleur has a 36T max and the cassette has a 40T. So I have to use this little wolf tooth road link, which I've had forever, but I've just never used it. It bolts directly onto the existing derailleur hanger and it just gives you a few more millimeters of clearance. What the hell does the derailleur? And this will allow the derailleur to fit over the cassette. Okay, so it turns out that you can't use Shimano 10-speed Dynasys derailleurs with 9-speed cassettes and shifters. It just doesn't work. I tried to get it to work, but this stupid derailleur would only shift like halfway up the cassette and then just give up. So I had to rush order a new derailleur, which is the one that's going to be installed in the next clip. So the final little bit of this build is just snapping the master link together on the chain, and that'll be it. There you have it. That is my full Cannondale M700 build. I've been wanting to do a video like this forever. I've had all these ideas of, oh, I want to build this and do that, but I don't know. It gets hard. It gets expensive, especially for a college student like myself. But, this project kind of fell into my lap, so to speak, and I figured it would be rude not to film it and put it on this channel. So, yeah, there you go. If you have any suggestions for future builds, future videos, whatever, let me know. Let me know what you think of this build. Let me know what you do different. And, yeah, that's all I got to say for today. See ya.